Hello everybody, this is Mr. Brown, and today we're going to talk about drawing 3D shapes. To do this, you'll need a pencil and some paper and a eraser. Having those things is going to be very handy. I'm going to be using Sharpie. If you've got a Sharpie at home, you can use that too, although without a Sharpie, you can't erase. So let's go into the very basic things first. 3D shapes. Now, 3D means things are coming closer to you and getting further away. We're kind of creating the illusion of that. So if you take any sort of flat shape and we take two lines that are the same, space them out a little bit, add another line that's the same length but a little bit lower, because this edge is going to be coming closer to us, so it's lower on the page, and then connect these lines with diagonals. We've got a kind of basic 3D shape. Now, it's not 100% 3D yet. We need to look at the top. Now, we could turn the shape into something similar by drawing a very thin top and making it look like a book. But we're going to take this and make it look like a block. So I'm going to take this line here, and I'm going to do another line going exactly the same way. It's okay if I go past a little bit. That's no problem. Same thing, I'm going to go this same direction. And with pencil, you can always erase that part. And there you go. Now, since I don't have a pencil, I'm just going to continue this part up. And I'm going to draw some lines coming down. I'm going to kind of repeat it, this idea. So now I have two shapes. And I can use a little shading to make them feel a little different and see a little different space apart. Pretty fun. Now, that is basic cubes. You can do this and you change the size of it. You can make them into rectangles, long shapes, do this with, and you can get very cool rectangles like this building, which is just a longer version of the same thing, except one of the lines goes up taller and they all end flat there. So we could do another building down here. And a third. And I'm keeping them looking like they belong by lining up the baselines. If you notice the baseline right here, they all go the same direction. And so I could make a whole bunch of buildings as long as my diagonal lines still just go this way for this left side of the building and that way for the right side. And then at the top, if I've got a really tall one, they might go down a little bit. Some of these things are the basics of perspective, and we'll get into that in a little bit later. But next we're going to draw a cylinder. Now there's a couple different ways to draw a cylinder. One of the easiest is to start with just a oval. Draw kind of a flat pancake oval, and then draw two lines going down. Try to make them even. And then draw this same line down here, this curve, and you've got a cylinder. A little bit of shading on the edge, and a little bit of shading kind of midway right here, and we've got a 3D looking cylinder. Pretty cool. Next, we're going to draw a cone. Now a cone, it's just a triangle, and like before, the cylinder, just going to connect it with that curved line. Very cool. Now there's another way we can draw a cone. Connect it with an oval at the top like we did with the cylinder, and now we have an upside down cone. A little bit of shading. I'm just using a little bit of cross hatching for my shading here, or hatching for a little quick shade. And on the inside here, of that cone. Very cool. Now, if I'm going too fast, you can always pause the video and come back on the own, but I just want to make sure you see all this. So, other than cone, there's a pyramid. Pyramids are going to be similar to our cubes in that we've got two lines that end at the same spot, and then the third line that comes down further. It has to come down further than the other two, and we connect them with our same diagonal lines, and we end up with a pyramid. We copy the same diagonal line going up and the same diagonal line going this way, and now we've kind of got a textured pyramid. Got a little bit of shadowing, and we've got a 3D shape. Next up is the sphere. Now, spheres themselves can be pretty difficult because a lot of them is the contour lines. There's no other lines outside the sphere we can add to show the shading, so we need to add lines inside the sphere. We need to add curves going across our sphere, and that makes it look like it has some curve to it. These are called contour lines. Contour means shape. So they're literally the lines that help give this shape. It's pretty cool. Now, we can go in, we can add a shadow there if we really want to, and we can add other contour lines. I need to make them curvy though. I need to make it kind of feel like the lines are cupping the outer edge of the shape that we want. And here we go. One cool thing about a sphere is this top part is always going to be a little bit more shaded than the part right next to the table, because all the light that comes down and hits this table from the edges bounces back and lights up our sphere a little bit on the bottom there. So you always want to leave just like this little strip of light where the table itself is lighting up the sphere. It's one little hint a lot of artists miss. They go in and they draw their sphere having like a perfect shadow, and it just doesn't look as realistic. Okay. So these are some basic 3D shapes. Go through them, practice them, try them out. Remember, the whole idea is things that are closer to you are going to be lower on the page. So as you draw something, any shape at all, let's say a stop sign, should we want to make that 3D, if we're looking at it from an angle, we'll see this part of the stop sign, or this part of the octagon first, it's the closest, and then things are going away from us, they go up the page away from us. And these other lines stay solid. Now, this is still going further away from us, but it's also going in, so it's going up, away from us, and then we close that up. So we can take this shape and turn it 3D just by remembering the rule that things that are closer to us are down further on the page. Things that are farther away from us are farther up the page. And as things that are closer to us are bigger, and things that are further away from us are smaller. So if I had a rectangle and wanted to show it 3D, that rectangle is going to look like a trapezoid because of the angle. Alright, so rule, close to us, down on the page. As long as you follow this idea, things that are far are small, things that are close are big, and things that are close are down on the page, and things that are far are higher on the page. All right, that is 3D drawing shapes, part 1. To be continued. Have a great day.